Alright, so the purpose of this video is to learn about the factors that influence climate change. If you refer to your atmosphere and climate change project, you are to make a foldable based upon the natural processes and the human influences that affect climate change. So ultimately, you're going to end up with something similar to this. One side will have the effect is going to be warming or cooling, and then details about that process itself. So the natural process factors include nutation, El Nino and La Nina, sunspot activity, glaciation, volcanic eruptions. And then the human influences include chlorofluorocarbons, known as CFCs, burning fossil fuels, industrial byproducts, overfarming, and heat islands. So what is climate change? Climate change is a long-term significant change in the weather patterns of an area. So we're going to talk about the natural processes first that influence climate change. Nutation. So more or less tilt of the earth is going to result in varying amounts of solar radiation received at different parts of the earth. So this can cause things like melting ice caps. Of course, for the ice caps to melt, that means that nutation is causing the warming of the earth. El Nino and La Nina. So El Nino is going to raise the sea level temperatures. It's going to cause weaker trade winds, which is one of your global wind patterns. It's going to cause higher pressure. So El Nino is going to cause the warming of the earth, whereas La Nina is going to lower the sea level temperatures. It's going to cause stronger easterlies, which are also global wind patterns that are going to be produced, and this is actually going to cool the earth. So El Nino and La Nina are going to have opposite effects. Sunspot activity. So sunspot activity is going to vary. If we're talking about low sunspot activity, it's going to cause cold winters and below average temperatures year-round. So that's going to cause the earth to cool, whereas high sunspot activity produces hot summers and above average temperatures year-round, and that's going to cause the earth to warm. Alright, so glaciation, it decreases the average global temperatures. It's going to increase snowfall, and that's going to cause the earth to cool. Volcanic eruptions, particulate matter is going to be produced from volcanoes, which is going to block out the solar radiation in the atmosphere. So if we can't get the solar radiation into the atmosphere, then that's going to cause the earth to cool. So now on to the human influences, things that we do to change the climate. Chlorofluorocarbons. CFCs destroy the Earth's atmosphere, in particular the ozone layer, which regulates the solar radiation. So as a result, this is going to warm the Earth. Burning fossil fuels. This releases carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. It's going to contribute to the amount of greenhouse gases, and this is also going to warm the Earth. Industrial byproducts, they produce greenhouse gases that contribute to the greenhouse effect. This is going to warm the Earth. Overfarming, carbon dioxide is going to be a byproduct when plants decay, and this is going to warm the Earth. Heat islands. Heat islands cause the average temperature in the city to increase, greater temperature changes with altitude, and they're also going to cause strong convection currents. So heat islands take place in cities. Think about downtown or center city where you have all those buildings. Ultimately, this is going to cause the earth to warm. So note that all the human influences, so heat islands, overfarming, industrial byproducts, burning fossil fuels, and chlorofluorocarbons all cause the warming of the earth. But if we go back to the natural processes, volcanic eruptions cause cooling, glaciation causes cooling, sunspot activity is going to vary depending upon the amount, so it can warm or cool the earth. El Nino is going to warm the earth, whereas La Nina is going to cool the earth. Nutation is going to warm the earth. So the natural processes vary as far as if they're going to warm or cool the earth as they change the climate. Remember, climate change is a long-term significant change in weather patterns of an area. And these are your climate change factors. Please use this information to help create your foldable.